Can you tell me what is the? I mean, you can see there are something which we call liquid. There are some things which we call solid. But here the two things are constant. The two things which are constant are the temperature. We all see this in the room temperature only, na?
Yes, sir.
So the temperature and the pressure. These two things are constant. For example, let us say the temperature is how much? 25 degrees Celsius, and the pressure is obviously 1 atm. Pressure is 1 atm. But still, we see that there are some things which are solid, and we see that there are some things which are liquid. So, what do you think? Uh, there should be inherently a few things different about this particular liquid which is present. Na? This liquid which is present, it should be different than this solid which is. This is solid, and we have this. This is also solid. So, what do you think? What should be the difference here? In what way these two things differ? I'm not asking that they are. This is liquid and that is solid, but on the molecular level,
Liquid can evaporate if
that is a
temperature
property.
changes.
That is a property.
Okay.
That is an
So what
effect I
do
would
we
say.
have to answer over here?
Yeah, you have to answer the main cause of it all.
Main
Okay,
cause of
main cause for the ink to be liquid and this ink pot to be solid. Why is the ink liquid and the ink pot solid? What is the main cause?
molecular
Now,
bonding, type of
Molecular
bonding
strength,
between.
attraction.
yeah, who said molecular attraction? Was this Fatima or Mariam?
Me, Fatima.
Fatima was there. Yeah, exactly right. That is intermolecular forces of attraction, intermolecular forces and of attraction. Okay, so this ink pot, it may be made of, for example, let us say glass, and these particles would be very close, and that is why we can see that it is having a definite mass and shape. Whatever you say, and I mean lower standards, you say now solid has definite mass and shape. That is only because they have intermolecular forces of attraction, right? And those intermolecular forces of attraction are strong. Okay, and the liquid that is present here, it would have intermolecular forces of attraction that would be weak. Okay, so now moving on to the next slide, that is solid state. Now the first property of solid that you will remember, you may be asked what are the characteristics of solid state. So the first thing that you will write is intermolecular forces are strong. Okay, now this is the basic definition of solid state. Whenever you hear the term solid state, chemically you will think about the molecules. Okay, but when you are reading physics, you will think about definite mass and shape because that is more macroscopic level, and in chemistry we deal more with the microscopic level. Okay, so let us see what happens if the intermolecular forces are strong. If the intermolecular forces are strong, I can say that this is one molecule and this is another molecule. Now the distance between them will be short because they are having high or strong intermolecular forces of attraction, correct? What will happen to the distance between
Yes.
these two molecules? This will become smaller, I mean
Yes,
large.
sir.
Small.
Yeah, small. That is the next property. The intermolecular distances are short, correct? The intermolecular distances are short. Now, when the intermolecular distances are short, let us make three particles here. Okay. Now, I mean, see, I'm still giving some kind of vacant space. Okay, as you can see here, this is the vacant space. Okay. Now, it can obviously move this particular molecule here. It can move here, it can move here. Okay, but it can only oscillate in this position, correct? I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
it cannot, because it will be having, there will be some more particles like this. So we are, the space around which this molecule can move, it can move on a very short space, and rather when something is moving in short space, we say that it is oscillating between two positions, है ना? And this particular position will be the mean position. There will be a mean position around which it will oscillate. So that is the next property. See, everything you can trace back to what? The first property, that is intermolecular forces are strong. If somebody asks why are the intermolecular distances short, you will answer intermolecular forces are strong. Now, if somebody asks why do they move around their mean position, you will again say because their intermolecular distances are short and because the intermolecular forces are strong. Now, the next thing is that when they cannot move very much and when they can only move around something. So, for example, I'm having these molecules here. So even though you can see that there is very much vacant spaces here. Now just imagine that I give some pressure. Okay, I give some pressure. Now this is a very, I've zoomed in a bit, but if you see the real picture how the solids are there, can you, the solids are like this. Okay, you cannot, if I want to even give some pressure, it will not convert into, I mean its volume will not change. Okay, so I can say that it is rigid. It is rigid. For those who have known, do you know what is this? Dough or atta?
Yes, sir.
Yes, na. So when you have that dough and you give some pressure, what happens? If you give some pressure,
It will
I mean
change
its shapes changes. Its
shape.
shapes changes, but that is not true for solids. So we have the next property, that is they are incompressible and they are rigid. Incompressible means when you apply pressure, I mean there is no effect of pressure. That I should write in short form. Laser. No change when pressure is applied. Okay, now at last is that particular definition that is always in your head about solid state, that is they have definite mass, volume and shape. Okay, now this is the last point because this is the macroscopic point of view for viewing solid. See, from where did we start? We started with molecular forces and we ended up with from micro to, this is the micro picture and this is the macro picture.
Micro pitch.
In chemistry that we do, we start with a very fundamental first principle kind of logic and then we start and we build up our world in chemistry. So you can write these things. Let me know when you are done by raising your hand.
So these are characteristics of solid state.
Yeah, these are characteristics of solid state. Rather you should write characteristic properties of solid state. Characteristic properties of solid state. Everything is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, whenever you are learning these five now, always start with the first one, then apply your logic for the second one, then to the third one, and after that to the fourth one. Then the fifth one you will always remember. Okay, the fifth one you will always remember. Okay, Ahmed is done. Amalya is also they are done. The font size is okay. Everything is readable.
Yes, sir.
We're waiting for Abir and Fatima. Fatima is done. Caviar is also done. Okay. Next, we are going to learn about the classification of solid. Okay. Now, classification is a bit tricky. Why? Because, for example, you have just started. Okay. Now you can. Okay. No problem. I will lower all your hands. Okay. Fine. So classification is tricky because for classification, first of all, the first thing is that you must know of, I mean, many things. Correct. For example, if you are talking about solid, so we must know, for example, at least for at least 10, 20 solids, and then only we can have a particular criteria for classification, and after that we can classify. Correct. After that we can classify. For example, if you want to classify humans, so we have been seeing humans, and we can say that we can either classify by their gender, we can also classify by their age, we can classify by their occupation. Correct. So now the irony is that we have not, I mean, even NCERT, when it starts classification of solid, it doesn't start with a few examples. Okay, it doesn't start with a few of examples. Now, because we are dealing with some the criteria which we will be putting out here will be a microscopic criteria. Okay, it will be a microscopic criteria. So obviously, if we even watch, or I mean, list out some of the liquids here, they won't we won't be able to classify, I mean, at least get to the criteria, as we got the criteria as gender, age, and occupation in terms of in humans. We will not be able to get the criteria in solids because it is microscope. But still, uh, I will try to give you some kind of idea here. What solid can you see around you, Ahmed?
Laptop.
Laptop is not a solid. Okay, laptop, it must
It
be
is a
having,
solid.
no, laptop is a device, it is not a solid.
But it is made of solid, right?
Yeah,
Like
it is made
metal.
up of solid. That is correct. It is made up of solid. So it must be having some fiber kind of thing, right? I
Yes,
mean, its
sir.
body must be some kind of fiber. Okay, and you are, I mean, you are set. Okay, and also this is fiber, and
Pen.
yeah, there must be some glass. Correct.
Yes,
There
sir.
must be some. Okay. Now, for
Metal
example,
also.
metal also. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Metal also. Wait a second for metal. Now, if you think about ice, you all can think about ice. No problem in that, I guess. Hai na?
Yes, sir.
Let us start with this. If I heat this particular ice, if I heat this ice, what would happen? It would directly convert into
Water.
water. Okay, it would directly convert into water. Now think about heating this glass. Okay, think about heating this glass. What do you think? Will it directly convert in a type of liquid?
No.
No, na? It will
No.
it will be liquid. I mean, it will convert to liquid, but it will have, first it will soften,
Yes, sir.
then it will be a bit flowy,
Yes, sir.
then it will be very much flowy, and it will be almost like clear water. I mean, it depends on what temperature you are heating it.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So at least by this you can have also, when you are heating something, you are changing its intermolecular forces. I mean, you are the intermolecular distances will be apart, and the thermal energy increases, the forces of attraction is less than the thermal energy, then they will break apart. When they break apart, they change their phase from solid to, here it is liquid. Okay, from solid to liquid. So now it is, we have come near the microscopic criteria, but let me list the microscopic criteria. But before that, I need something, that is, I need to erase these things because the text would be coming here, I guess. Let us see where the text comes. Okay, no. So solids can be classified as crystalline and amorphous. There are two types of solid now, we know. Now, what is the, on the basis of nature of order present in the arrangement of their constituent particles, how the arrangement or nature of order. This is one type of solid. Now, this is having an order which is, this is ordered solid. For example, if you study this part, then for example, you want to know about this part, the property here will be property which is equal to here. Okay, if you study one part, you can predict the properties very far away from the site of your study. Uh, there is one kind of solid, and there can be some solids which are not very particularly ordered. Okay, so write this point here, that solids can be classified as crystalline or amorphous on the basis of nature of order present in the arrangement of their constituent particles. Arrangement of their constituent particles. Write this down. Let me know when you are done. Raising your hands. Still houseful? Yes, still houseful.
So what makes you feel like the house will be half, like not half, like someone will live in between?
No, nobody leaves in between. I am not accusing someone of leaving in between, but sometimes they disconnect, Ahmed. See, yeah, sometimes they disconnect.
Okay, sir.
Isn't that right, Fatima? She said
Yes, sir.
something.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, only Ahmed is done. Oh, I didn't. I mean, so you were the update soon. It kept. I didn't see that, Mariam, by the way. Abir, Mariam, and Sam. You're waiting for Abir. Okay, Abir is also done. So let us move on. Why is this not moving? Yeah, it did. Now you can see two photos here. Okay, now you can see two photos here. Okay, Fatima, you tell me. This is first photo. This is the second photo. Which one of do you think which is ordered and which is not ordered?
The first one is ordered.
Yeah, the first one is ordered, and the second one is not ordered. Okay.
Ordered.
Now this thing here is this not ordered is not a very good word. Okay. For example, someone sees this particular part. Till here it seems ordered now. See the distances here. The distances here are almost equal. So we can say that these are having short range order. Correct? There is order somewhere. I mean, it also has order, but the order here is short range order. Okay, it is short range order, and this one is long range order. Okay. Now, whenever you have a long range order, okay, let us first see this. This will be crystalline, and this will be amorphous. Okay. So, for example, you can make this. This is long range order, and this is a photo of quartz, and it is crystal quartz. I mean, it has been crystallized, but this is also quartz. Okay, as you can see the particles here, the constituent particles which we are having, the red and blue atoms, these are same in this first picture and the second picture, but this is a short range order and it is quartz, but it is glass. Okay, so you can draw this. Okay, I mean, as much as you can, please draw this and write this is crystalline, this is amorphous, it is short range order, long range order, and short range order.
So we have to draw this.
Yes, I mean as much as you can. As much as you can draw it. If you want to write the formula for quartz, it is same for both of them. It is SiO2. It is the formula for quartz. Now, since we have the photo now, after this, we will be thinking about the properties of crystalline and amorphous solids. Okay. Okay, Amalya is done. Sanya is done. Fatima is done. Mariam is done. Ahmed, are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. Just waiting for Abir now. Yeah, Abir is also done. Okay. So again, we have the same two photos. Now I will ask you a few questions. Okay. I will ask you a few questions. Can I have Abir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So imagine that you are heating it. Okay. Imagine that you are heating. Let's start with the second picture. Start with the second picture. As you can see that intermolecular distances here, intermolecular distances are very, different at different places. For example, if you see at this portion, okay, and the similar kind of circle I should make here. As you can see here, the intermolecular distances are very small, and here the intermolecular distances are large. For example, you can see these two are very far apart. So what do you think if I heat it? If I heat it, what will happen? Let us say, example, I heated it here, 100 degrees Celsius. I heated it here at 100 degrees Celsius and it didn't melt. But when I heated here, 100 degrees Celsius, it did melt. This can happen, right, Abir? Since since the molecules are far apart here, it will be easy to break.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone has any doubt regarding this?
Yes, sir.
You have a doubt?
Yes.
Yes, tell me.
Like, how do we know whether it is whether the molecules are closely packed or far apart?
Oh, just you can check the density here now. See how this particular solid here, this distance here, this distance here, this distance here, this distance here, and see the distances here.
Oh,
How do
okay.
you see? They are far apart.
Like, we can choose something else also, right?
We can.
We can choose something else also, right? Like over here, the one which you said will melt. they have closed ones as well.
I don't understand. Can you speak a bit loudly?
The one which you said will melt, they have close like short range one also.
Yeah, they have some shortened, but I'm talking about the whole picture, na. I'm talking
Okay,
about the
sir.
whole picture, okay? Because if you heat, you cannot heat at particular one point. I mean, you cannot heat at only 2 points. I mean, the amount of molecules or amount of atoms which I have taken here, it is still relatively very less. If you apply heat, you will be heating over a large area of molecules, okay? And that is why when we heat the glass now, so glass, it slowly starts to melt, okay? Slowly starts to melt, and as for example, what will happen if this will melt? Let me erase these things. What will happen if I melt the area where we have a lot of, I mean, the intermolecular distance is very small. The intermolecular distances will get far apart. Okay. So, for example, let us imagine this small area here. When I heated it, it will become like this. Can this happen, Ahmed? When I heat this much area, it can convert into this area. I mean, it can get a bit
Yes,
far apart.
sir, it can.
Yes. But
Yes.
can you see that this is also solid? When I heated it, it will again be solid.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
but there will be a bit of flow here. There will be a bit of, it can become a bit flowy when it gets to this state, okay. So that is why when glass is melted now, it melts slowly, and then slowly it becomes fluid. But in case of ice, 1 degree Celsius and it is directly water, and it cannot get more liquid than water. But glass can get liquidy and flowy as soon as you are heating it. Now the thing here is that when you heat this one, and it has what, it has long range order, the order is same everywhere. So if you heat somewhere, it will, I mean, it will melt as it is, okay, and it will directly melt and cannot melt further. It cannot melt further, okay. So the first thing is that this will have, what can I say here, that can gradually soften, no? It will soften, and this will melt, okay. This can melt and this can get soft, okay. Now the other thing is that if it gets soft, then we can give it some definite, I mean, we can give it shape as we want it. It's soft, we can give it shape as it wants. So we can say that it has irregular shape.
So what about
It has
plastic?
irregular shape. What about here?
Plastic.
It will have a geometric shape.
Is that amorphous or crystalline?
This is amorphous, no?
I'm asking about plastic. Is that amorphous or
Yeah, it is amorphous.
crystalline?
Plastics are amorphous. Plastics are amorphous. Most of the plastic, if you are talking about polythene or polyvinyl chloride that is used in pipings and all, plumbing, that is also amorphous. Okay. Now we have come to melting, and this will be geometric. This will have geometric shape, and this will have some irregular shape. Okay. Now the other thing is that, I mean, this will be sounding a bit counterintuitive to you all, but if you cut a particular amorphous solid, it will give you irregular bumps. I mean, when you cut it, it will not be as sharp as it is, okay? As sharp as the crystalline would be. Crystallines, when you cut it, it has sharp ends. And that is why most of the knives and etc., these things are made up of what? These things are made up of crystalline solids. Okay, these things are made up of crystalline solids. Okay. But these are the most, I mean, the major important differences here. The major important differences. The differences I have listed out in the next slide also. Okay, but just remember how these things are different. So don't be intimidated with this. We have discussed almost everything here. The large range order, this is short range order. This is having geometrical shape. It is having irregular shape. Now it melts at sharp and characteristic temperature. It will gradually soften. We have discussed this. Now this thing here is from your 11th standard. Okay, this thing here is from 11th standard. Why? Because This is enthalpy of fusion. What is enthalpy of fusion? The heat required to change a particular solid to liquid, to change the phase. Now, if it has a sharp temperature, it will have a definite and characteristic enthalpy. For example, if you have a particular metal, then it will have, for example, ice will have a definite enthalpy of fusion. But this will not have definite enthalpy of fusion, rather it will have some range. As it has a range of temperature, it will have range of fusion. Okay. And the next thing is that, again, if you cut it, then it will be into smooth surfaces and it will be having irregular surfaces. Okay. Now these two things, just write this down. I will deal with this anisotropy and isotropy in a while. Okay. And also this pseudo solids and supercooled liquids. And these are the examples. These are the examples. Whenever I write quartz,
So
or
we have
whenever
to write full or
yes,
just
you have to write it differences, because in examination you will be asked that to write the differences.
okay.
Yeah, write it. There is no, I mean, the only thing is that I have written it earlier just to save time. Obviously, you will get this in particular in CERTs or something, but the thing is the order of the differences is important. Also, in characteristic of solid, the order is important, how you lay them out. The first thing of difference, the first topic should be the long range and short range, and after that you will think about irregular shape and definite geometric shape. Then you can think about the temperature and enthalpy, and after that you can think about cutting. Now, these two things I will explain. Don't worry about these two things. Pseudo solids, true solids, and isotropy and isotropic in nature. Take your time, huh? Don't hurry. Take your time. आराम से लिखो. By the way, Ahmed, I asked Khalid, do you know Ahmed, your senior? He said, no, I don't know.
So what can we do?
No, I'm just telling you. I'm not asking you to do something. Please don't do something.
This is a mean world where everyone forgets everyone.
What?
So everyone forgets everyone. We cannot do anything. Like I told you, right? We did not meet in person ever.
Yeah, exactly.
He asked me yesterday. My sir was asking about who is Ahmad. Do you know any Ahmad from like your senior and all? I was like, and then he was like, I didn't know he was asking about you because you don't seem to be a studying person who goes to tuition and all. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was like, yeah, you just ask him one more time about me and he will be like, he will, and I want him that if he starts hating you, then don't, don't. What do we say? So what do we say?
What did he say?
मुझे
If he
ताने मत
starts,
मारना, like that. Yeah.
what did he say? If he starts,
I was like, just to warn him, I was like, if the sir starts hating you just because you know me, then don't come to me and be like, why did I do that? Like, don't regret about that later. That was just to make
okay.
fun.
So you are saying that
I'm a bad person for him.
no. I am not saying that. You are, so you said that if अगर सर ने ताने मारे मेरे नाम लेके तो फिर मेरे पास मत आना. You said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, there are some students, right? There are some teachers who start hating some student just because they know a particular person.
Really, are
So,
there?
yes, sir, there are a lot.
Okay.
And
I
they
don't.
just try saying, and they just try to convince those students not to be with the person which they don't like.
Okay. But there is no one here I don't like. Why are you saying like this?
No, sir, it was just to make fun. Like,
Okay.
if you will be like, maybe I'm a bad student, that's why like that.
Just he directly, I mean, that good. He wouldn't be
And
knowing Mariam, by the way. Mariam knows him because of her brother, but he wouldn't be knowing Mariam.
Yes, he doesn't know.
Uh, okay, keep writing, but also raise your hand when you are done. I usually don't make, I mean, it's not like that I have never presented anywhere. I have presented in my college, but this type of slide that you are looking at now, it is not a very ideal kind of slides because there are many words. There is a particular rule whenever we make slides now, we try to have at least, I mean, maximum four to maximum 4 to 5 words. Yeah, maximum 4 to 5 words in in one line, and there should be only 4 to 5 lines in a particular slides. And this is very much too much even for me. This is not an ideal case here, okay? But still, to deal with differences, I didn't have any other avenues, so bear with me, please.
no, sir, it is fine. We are used to it from school.
Yeah, I understand you're used to it, but I didn't want to give you that taste over here. Okay, Fatima is done. Fatima, I hope you are understanding everything and there is no gaps in between, right?
No gaps.
No
I
gaps.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay. Ahmad is done. Please raise your hand. Okay, fine. Ahmad, I will remember you. Don't worry. Sanya is done. Okay, Ahmad has raised hand. Mariam, are you multitasking? Are you multitasking?
No. No, sir.
Okay, very good.
So I
No, she usually write fast, but I mean, now she is a bit slow, I guess. If you're done, then you can raise hand, Mariam. Okay, I think she's not done yet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Five have raised hand. Yeah, everyone is done. So let us move on to the next one. Yeah, this is a question. Classify the following as amorphous and crystalline solids. Okay, classify the following as amorphous and crystalline. You never saw her completing first. Okay, fine. But she isn't usually last also. Okay, Sanya. Now the trick here is not to identify the crystalline first. Identify the crystalline solids first. Yes, Sania. I'm asking Sania.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you think of which of them are crystalline?
Sir, copper,
Can you speak a bit louder?
copper and fiberglasses,
Copper, okay, and
fiberglasses.
no. Again, when it is glass, it will be amorphous, not crystalline. Crystalline, okay. Now there is one thing. Okay, I understand now. Whenever I say crystal, you think of something which is transparent and looks very beautiful and aesthetic, right?
Yes, sir.
No, it is not. The definition is long range order and short range order, and for sure, glass is not a crystal. Glass is not crystalline. Okay, glass is not crystal. So whenever you see crystal, it will be having a long range order. Okay, it will be having long range order. You can identify. See, all the metals will be what? All the metals will be crystalline. All the ionic solids. Okay, all the ionic solids. For example, the ionic solid here is potassium nitrate,
Potassium, nitrate.
right? Potassium nitrate.
Yes.
And also these acid, that is benzoic acid. This is also what? This is also crystalline. Only these three are crystalline. The others are what? Amorphous. You
Amorphous.
can write the answer. Let us see. Yeah, this is the answer. See, when I said glass, now so you would have easily identify which of the things. You could have easily identified. See, whenever you see this poly, always whenever you see something like poly, it will be something similar to plastic. Polyethylene, polyurethane. Okay, polyurethane. Then there is cellophane. What is cellophane? Cellophane is that gift wrappers. Now, gift wrappers are made up of cellophanes. You know gift wrappers, right? The plastic ones.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. Now, what is polyvinyl chloride? Have you heard of this term? PVC pipes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So PVC is again now fiberglass. Fiberglass is also now Teflon is one type of, again, it is one type of polymer. You will study
So
this.
what
Maybe you
about
will.
naphthalene?
Did I not write naphthalene anywhere?
You wrote
What do you think naphthalene will be?
amorphous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crystalline, right?
Crystalline. Why crystalline or why amorphous?
Because you said only 3 crystallines are present over here, so naphthalene is amorphous.
So naphthalene is amorphous.
Yeah.
Naphthalene. Naphthalene, there are naphthalene balls now.
Yeah.
Naphthalene balls are there, and so naphthalene balls are crystals. Yeah. There will be crystallines. Sorry. So you can add this also,
Yeah.
naphthalene also. Yeah. It will be crystalline, similar to benzoic acid. Yeah, crystalline.
So what is
Another-
Teflon?
Teflon is a kind of polymer. I mean, Teflon is a company type of name. It is polytetrafluoroethylene. Teflon, and you see those non-sticky ones, non-sticky pan and all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So they are made up of Teflon. I mean, it has Teflon coating. Those are Teflon. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it on the presentation mode or how is it?
No. It's
In the
on
presentation.
ink paper.
You're seeing the ink and paper?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. And now it is fine. Write this down. Let me know when you're done. Okay. Fatima, Ahmed, and Mariam, are you done?
No.
No, sir.
Okay.
So naphthalene is crystalline, right?
Yeah, crystalline. Now these are all very factual questions. I mean, there is no way. I mean, you would be
Yes, sir.
knowing why
Barabar.
benzoic acid is crystalline or something. Yeah, these are just very factual questions.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, waiting for Abir, Fatima, and Mariam. Okay, all of you are done. Yeah, everyone is done. Okay, yeah. So here we will learn about. I said na anisotropic and isotropic. See these two words, anisotropy and isotropy. So here that we will learn about that. Okay. So what do you think? What is this? Amorphous or crystalline?
So crystalline.
Crystalline solid. Yeah. So we will understand the anisotropy or isotropic effect in crystalline solid first. Okay. So for example, I'm asking if I measure some property between in this direction. Can you see this line? Okay. I'm
Yes,
measuring
sir.
a property in
Yes.
this direction. So what I get blue atom, again blue atom, again blue atom, and again blue atom. Okay. So whatever property I measure here in the A case, it will be only the property with due to what? Due to the due to the blue atoms. Now, if I measured it in some different direction, for example, I measured the property in this direction. Now, what I'm getting a blue atom, then a yellow atom, then a blue atom, orange atom, yellow atom, whatever, I don't know. Blue atom. Oh, what is this? Mariam, Sania, and Amalia. What color is this? This one.
Peach.
Blue. A purple. No,
I don't know the circle. What is that color? It's purple.
Peach.
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 Okay.
Yeah, peach.
Okay.
So
Amalia,
let's
what do
go
you
with
think?
green.
It's red.
Peach is right. Okay, fine. Peach. And this is blue. Now I can say this blue, right?
No.
Not exactly, but you can say it.
The light
Okay.
blue.
Light blue. Okay, fine. Light.
No, light blue
What?
don't look like this.
Not light blue. Then what?
It's a navy blue.
No.
Navy blue. No, it is not navy blue.
Navy blue is not like this.
Okay, so if you are not,
So let's go
there is no
with
consensus on what color, then I
let's
will be using blue.
A and B. That is better.
Okay, but can you see that if I measure the property along the B direction, I will be getting a blue atom, then a peach atom, the blue atom, the peach atom, the blue atom, the peach atom. So obviously the amount or the measurement that I get here and the measurement that I get here will be different. Is that right? Because when I change the direction, I change the atoms which is occurring in between. So that is why we say that crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature. Anisotropic in nature. Okay. What are anisotropic in nature? It means that anisotropy means that it shows different values when measured along different directions. Okay. So this is the crux here. But CBSE won't give you any marks if you write one line. Nah? It won't give you any marks. So you have to write this. And this is a proper way, like crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature. That is, some of the physical properties like electrical resistance, refractive index show different values when measured along different direction. But underline these lines, okay? That is, show different values when measured along different directions. But in the same crystal, that means in the same. Write this point, and this is the reason why it happens. This is the reason. Okay. Anisotropic. What does anisotropic means? It means show different values when measured along different direction. Isotropy will mean same values when measured along different direction. Okay, and amorphous will be anisotropic. Amorphous salts will be isotropic in nature.
Sir, we have to draw that.
Yes, draw this. You have to draw this.
I just have one color pen.
You have to draw this. If you don't have any other color, you can make a shade one and leave the other unshaded.
So that will take time.
See, Fatima got disconnected. See, Ahmed, see.
I cannot see.
You cannot see. Okay, fine, don't see. Fatima got disconnected. Okay, so that is why I keep checking.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, Ahmed and Amalia are done.
No, sir, I'm not done.
Waiting for Abir and Sanya. Okay, Sanya is done. Okay, Abir is also done. Okay. Now to explain anisotropy, Abir, can I have you please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Arre? Who else said yes? Mariam said yes. Okay, Abir, what do you think? No, yeah, one question is that, yeah, how many sections do you have in 12th standard?
4. Out
have
of
4
which 2
sections.
science and 2 commerce.
No, I'm asking about the science one.
Just 2.
Only 2. One girls and one boy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one girls and one boys. Okay, one girls and one boys. Okay. What do you think? If I, for example, take an average percentage from boys, an average percentage from girls, which will be
Average
higher?
percentage of what? Girls are
Average
high.
percentage in the sense the marks obtained.
Girls, of
Average
course.
marks of boys and average marks of girls.
Girls,
Which will
of
be higher?
course. Girls, of course.
Okay, Abir, can you speak please? Ahmed's voice is not very much clear.
I said girls.
Girls would be higher,
Yes.
right? Right. So you can understand. See, if we see crystalline solid, when we are measuring with a particular distance like this, we get a different property. And when we are measuring like this, we get a different property. Why? And if we measure like this, we will get again what? A different property, right?
Yes, sir.
Because in each direction we have a very I mean distinct particles. We have very distinct particles. Now what I do, I take all the boys and take all the girls and randomly divide them into sections A and B. Okay, now your school has been converted into co-ed school. So in A there are girls and boys, and in B also there are girls and boys. I have randomly distributed. Now do you think their average marks would be approximately equal,
Sir.
right? Because I have randomly distributed them.
So it will still depend upon student, but you can say average mark equal to.
Can you speak a bit loudly, please?
Sir, it will still depend on the student, right?
No, I am not saying I am. Okay, now see the probabilistic. You have to have a probabilistic mind in the sense. I give. I mean, I distribute one time, and I distribute, for example, 1,000 times. Okay, so I have 1,000 different sets here. I distributed one time, and I took a test. Then I got some marks, for example, x1. Then I again distributed them randomly. Then I got some marks, x2, x3, x4, and here I get y1, y2, y3, y4. Now I'm randomly distributing, and I'm randomly, I mean, 1,000 times. Now if I take the average of y1, y2, y3, y4, and x1, x2, and x3, x4, will this be equal?
Yes, sir, might be equal.
Now they can, I mean, they will be very much, I mean, we cannot say directly that now A section will have more marks or B section will have more marks, right?
Yes, sir.
As it was very clear in the first case. Now if I do this for 1,000 times, if I do this simulation, we say that we do a particular set of experiment 1,000 times. On each and every experiment, what I will get, the girls are getting more marks than boys.
Getting more.
But when we do something which is random, and random on average it is same. When we do randomized average of different sets, it is same. Now that is this, I mean, this thing happen when we have what? Amorphous solids. Okay, so let me erase these things because amorphous solids is going to come here. Now, since we have in amorphous, what is there? There is random arrangement. Now there is no long range order, only short range order is present. So since only short range order is present, the average physical property that we will get will be similar in every direction. Okay, will be similar in every direction. So in amorphous solid, since there is no long range order in arrangement, particles is not defined, hence overall arrangement becomes equivalent.
Sir, do we have any?
Now the
Sir,
arrangement,
do we
what
have
it
any
becomes?
diagram for this?
No, there is no diagram for this because it becomes equivalent in all the direction. Okay, as it became equivalent when I randomly distributed the girls and boys in A and B sections. Okay, Fatima is back. Now this is what called, this is known as isotropy. Crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature. Amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. Okay. This point becomes a bit difficult to digest, but this is the case. Okay, and I have given you one example of sections of boys and girls and how it happens. How a random things, when we have random, it is almost like we are, I mean, in every direction it will be average. You can write these 2 points. Now the slides are over. The idea of slides, now it came to my mind, I mean, very late. I started preparing your slides just I guess yeah, 40 minutes before your class. So there is one more topic. Now what is the time here? Yeah, I guess we can complete it. Now the thing is that I have to write a lot when I teach classification of crystalline solid. We will be now dealing with crystalline solids and we will classify them. Now this classification will be logical. This will be not factual. This will be logical.
Yes, sir.
Mariam is done waiting for Abir, Fatima, and Sania. Fatima may take long time because she has to write the crystalline solid RNA. Fatima is done waiting for Abir. Abir is also done. Yeah, so I think this is the end of slides. No, I don't want to keep the annotations. Yeah. We stop sharing this and let me get to our whiteboard. Now the whiteboard was making a bit nose. Can you see this particular line here? These are way thicker than it used to be, right?
Yes, sir.
Now I don't know why it is happening. Oh yeah, I may know why it is happening.
So you can lighten it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Now
I
this is
got that.
very light.
Now it
This
is
is
fine. Yeah,
perfect.
now it is fine.
Yes, sir.
Now we will be learning about classification of crystalline solids. Okay, classification of crystalline solids. Okay, Sanya, please be a bit loud and tell me what are the intermolecular forces of attraction that you can think of? Intermolecular forces of attraction. Yes, Sanya.
Yes, sir.
What are the? Can you give me some example for intermolecular forces of attraction? Can you think of any?
Atom, molecule.
No, intermolecular forces of attraction. Okay, I don't think you are having. Okay, it's not clicking right now. Okay, Ahmed, can you tell me something?
Van der Waals force.
Please be a bit louder.
Van der Waals force. Like it
Van
is
der Waals
intermolecular.
force.
Yeah.
Yeah,
London
exactly.
force.
Van der Waals forces.
Dipole, dipole.
Dipole forces. Okay.
Dipole induced dipole. No.
Yeah, dipole induced dipole.
Yeah.
Dipole. Okay, fine. So there are some intermolecular forces of attraction, okay, that you know of. Okay.
Hydrogen
Now all
bonding
of
also.
hydrogen bonding, yeah, hydrogen bonding also. Okay. Now, if you remember correctly, you learned this in states of matter that dealt with gaseous state, right? In chapter 4 of 11th standard. Okay. Now here also, when we divide the crystalline solids, now the basis of classification is what? The basis of classification is again the different forces of attraction, the different intermolecular forces of attraction. Okay. So crystalline solids are classified on the basis of are classified on the basis of classified on the basis of the nature of intermolecular forces, the nature of intermolecular forces of attraction. Intermolecular forces of attraction. Okay. And how many intermolecular forces of attraction we will be dealing with? So see, we will be dealing with a few different intermolecular forces of attraction than we dealt in solid state. We will be dealing with molecular you'll be dealing with molecular intermolecular forces of attraction. Okay, these will be molecular forces of attraction. Second one is, or rather I should write the nature of intermolecular force of attraction and the types are. Okay, so these are the different type of crystalline solid. We have molecular solids, then we will be having some ionic solids, covalent solids, molecular solids, ionic solids, covalent solids, and the fourth one is metallic solids. Okay, so first write these, then we will deal with each molecular, ionic, covalent, and metallic one by one. Write these four categories. Kabir is done. Waiting for Amalia, Fatima, and Sania. They're waiting for Amalia.
So I'm not done.
You are not done, so why have you raised your hand?
I did not lower it since the last time I raised it.
Okay, I have lowered it. Raise your hand when you are done.
Okay, sir.
Mariam, you are done.
Yes.
I need to get a headphone. I need to get a yeah.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, done. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Amalia, are you done, Amalia? Yeah, Amalia is done. Sometimes it feels like Amalia is not even present. Okay, fine. Yeah, Amalia is done. So let's start with molecular solids. Molecular solids. One thing about molecular solid is that the constituent particles these are molecules. Okay, these will be very easy. In metals, the constant particles will be In metallic solid, it will be metal. In ionic solid, it will be ions. In covalent solid, we will look at it. It will be molecules. Okay. Molecular solid will be molecules. Now, this molecular solid, it is further divided into three categories. It is further divided into three categories. The first category is that there will be some solids, let us write this A, which will be non-polar. Non-polar molecular solids. Okay. So non-polar molecular solids, for example, these solids now they will be, I mean, their molar masses will be very high. Their molar masses will be very high because see, if these are non-polars, that means the forces of attraction will not be very high due to, I mean, the electrostatic force of attraction will not very high. For example, A molecule is there something, so there will be no delta plus and delta minus here. So the only thing due to which these are solid is the van der Waals force of attraction that depends on the molecular mass. So the molar mass of these solids will be very high. An example of this solid is what? An example is I2, iodine, right? Iodine is a solid and it is a non-polar molecular solid. So the intermolecular force of attraction, IMFOA, intermolecular force of attraction. Okay. So what is the intermolecular force of attraction here? What did I say? Van der Waals forces, London forces, or weak dispersion forces. Okay. So weak dispersion forces or the same thing, that is London forces. Now an example of this will be, now for example, if you have a solid, I mean a gas H2, and if you pressurize it and at a very low temperature, it can become a solid, and this solid will be what? It will be a non-polar molecular solid, and I2 is an example. Okay. Now there is second part B, which will be polar molecular solid. Okay. Polar molecular solids. So here the intermolecular forces of attraction will be what? The intermolecular forces of attraction will be, yes, can somebody please tell me what can be the intermolecular force of attraction when we have polar molecule?
Dipole.
Yes, exactly. It will be having dipole interaction. Dipole attraction. Dipole attraction. Okay. Can somebody give me some example?
Fluorine.
One of the very can somebody give me some example here?
HCl.
HCl.
Yeah.
Yeah, HCl, it is a gas, but if you condense it, it will become a solid and it will be a polar molecular solid. And there's also one SO2. Okay, these two examples are most prominent, HCl and SO2. Now C, hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Okay, what will be the intermolecular force of attraction here?
Hydrogen bond.
Intermolecular force of attraction here will be hydrogen bonding. Okay, give me an example.
H2O.
Yeah, exactly. H2O. Okay, H2O. There can be also NH3. Now I have seen that in NCERT, NH3 as an example they have given in polar molecular solid. Okay, they have given an example in polar molecular solid, but I think it should be NH3 should be in the hydrogen bonded molecular solid, because hydrogen and nitrogen, and then when again there is hydrogen and nitrogen, the non-bonded hydrogen and nitrogen, these make hydrogen bonds. Okay, so if hydrogen is bonded to oxygen, or hydrogen is bonded to fluorine, or hydrogen is bonded to nitrogen, in all these three cases we get hydrogen bonds. Okay, so NH3 is better placed at hydrogen bonded molecular solid, not at polar molecular solids. So you can write this slide down. See, these are very easy. Now when I said it is logical, see, molecular solid, constant particles will be molecule. It is divided non-polar molecular solid. That is, so it will be having the whatever non-polar molecules have the intermolecular force of attraction. That will be the intermolecular force of attraction of that particular solid. In polar molecular solid, the polar molecules have dipole-dipole attraction. That is why polar molecular solid will have dipole-dipole interaction. Hydrogen bonded one will have hydrogen bonding. Write this. Then we have ionic, metallic, and covalent. Yeah, one more thing is there. Yeah, one more thing about this. Let me just shift this a bit upward. Rather, I can do one thing. I can let me leave these things here. Yeah, what do you think about their electrical conductivity? Will they conduct electricity?
So what?
Will
H2?
these things, will they conduct electricity?
Yes, they will.
They will conduct electricity.
They might.
Okay, so you think water conducts electricity?
Yeah, it have H plus ion, right? H plus and OH minus.
H plus and OH minus ions are there. Okay.
Yeah. So
So if
H
there are
plus is
charged
in the
particles in water, then why don't you get shock whenever you touch it?
that we don't know how to extract it.
So okay, this is a homework. Okay, this is your homework. The homework is water a conductor of electricity? You write this in your notebook. Search about it and tell me tomorrow. Okay. Search about it and tell me tomorrow. Now for these things, when we if I have offline classes, I mean this is a very particularly easy question, but if I have some tough question and someone comes with a very good explanation, okay, someone, I mean, even though they look over the internet, but I mean, if they can explain it in the class very
Sir,
nicely, then I give them some chocolates. But here I cannot give you any chocolates. Yes, somebody is saying something.
water does not conduct electricity.
Yes, Ahmed, be a bit loud.
I said water does not conduct electricity, but it is an insulator of electricity.
You said it conducts electricity just before.
But I'm saying it is not
Why it is not?
because
But
it is not a
okay,
conductor.
do you know there is one thing which is known as electric rod, which you dip in
Yes.
water and it heats it?
Yes, sir.
Do you? I mean, do you have it in your homes? I don't think. Do you have it in your homes? Does
How
anyone
can we
have it?
have
Most of
that?
you. You have that? Okay, fine.
How
So
can we have that?
how can you have that? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't have that.
Yeah, you won't have it. I mean, if you. Okay, yes, Fatima, you have it.
No, that was Mariam.
Mariam, you have it. In Bahrain, you get those things.
It's very old, like from when I was a kid.
Okay, it is very old. Okay, so it is. I mean, do you use it?
No.
Okay. So maybe ask your mom what will happen if I dip that in water, turn the switch on, and then touch the water.
Water is an insulator,
the-
so if you touch
Touch
the
the
water, you will get shock.
I will
Of
get
course.
shocked. Why?
Because it is an insulator and not a conductor. It does not conduct electricity.
So
But electricity passes through water, but yeah, it passes through water. Like when you mix, and there are hydrogen, like
okay,
hydrogen
yes. Wait a second.
in water, right?
Wait. No. You're okay. Wait a second. Very good. The wires, now the wires come with a covering, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Now these coverings are the insulator or conductor?
Insulator.
They are
No,
insulator.
Ahmed. Okay, so if I touch those particular plastic things over, I will get shock.
Here we are actually mixing electricity into the water.
Mixing electricity, great, bro. I mean, if you have something wires here and it is, I mean, these wires are touching those pipes, those plastic things, na? Ahmed, it is touching now. Mixing electricity. Electricity नहीं हुआ, रूह अफ़ज़ा हो गया है.
Sir, let's go and complain Google.
Search about
Yeah.
it, okay, guys.
Sir, this was
Search about
on
this.
Google only.
Yeah, you can search about it in Google, or you can get it in book, whatever you do. Okay, I don't. You have to, I mean, you have to come up with a very, I mean, whatever you read now, make sure that you are convinced by it, because I will be asking questions. Is water a conductor of electricity? And why?
No, it is not.
Okay. Okay. Is water a conductor of electricity? Yes or no? If you get anything, why? Okay, everyone is done.
Yes, sir.
Amalya and Sania done. Okay, Amalya is done. Sania is also done. Okay. The next thing is ionic solid. The next one is ionic solid. Okay. So ionic solid, what should I write here? See this slide, and what is the first point should I write here? In ionic solid, what is should be the first point? Yes, guys. What should be the first point here? Okay, look
Ionic
again.
solid.
Sir, constituent particle.
Yes, very good. Constituent particles. Okay. What will be the constant particles? Mariam?
Ionic.
Not your Mariam. Yes, Mariam? You said it. Ions.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, intermolecular force of attraction. Mariam will say this. Mariam, your voice is lagging. Okay, don't speak. Ahmed,
Yes, sir.
intermolecular force of attraction.
Intermolecular. Ionic.
Your first chapter, 12th standard. I think it is the first chapter. 12th standard physics, first chapter. What is the first chapter in physics?
Sir, let me check.
Electro?
Statics.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what is electrostatics? Plus, minus, na? The force
Yes,
of
sir.
attraction between these two. So, if you have
So,
Na
ions.
plus Cl negative. So, Na plus is what? We are thinking about it as Na plus. We are giving it some name. But in reality, it is
Your
a
voice
positive
is
charge. It is
lacking.
arising. Why? It is arising by my voice
Sir,
is
can
lagging
you
for everyone.
repeat that again?
Sir, your voice lagged.
No. Okay. Since when? Physics first chapter?
Yeah, from Na plus
Okay.
and Cl minus.
Na plus and NaCl. So Na plus and NaCl, these are, I mean, we are viewing it as Na plus and we are giving it these names Na plus and Cl negative. The only thing, the reality she sees this as, it has a positive charge, and this positive charge is arising because it has 11 protons and only 10 electrons. Now, when we
Yes,
have this in a system, then what we will get a net positive charge, and when we get a net positive charge here, net negative charge here, this will again have some kind of attraction. This is known as electrostatic attraction. So it will be electrostatic. Or what is the other name for electrostatic? Physics class. What is the other name for electrostatic?
guys, answer your
I hope Azam sir
question.
sees this video.
No, sir.
Yes, come on. Electrostatic or? I'm giving you the first letter, C. Okay. What is the unit of charges?
Coulomb.
Yeah, so it will be Coulombic force, na?
Yes, sir, clear.
Coulombic forces.
Amalia answered that.
Amalia answers that. Okay, I didn't hear you, Amalia.
I
See,
heard
there is
from
one
her and also
share that I always say, Amalya, you should always, hear that share. That is, ये खामोश मिजाजी तुम्हें जीने नहीं देगी. इस जहां में जीना है तो nobody knows. इस जहां में जीना है तो कोहराम मचा दो. Do you remember this, Amalya? I have said this earlier also.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
Amalya doesn't remember. Electrostatic or Coulombic forces of attraction. Electrostatic or Coulombic forces of attraction. Okay. Now, these are the only two things that you have to know. Then the other thing is conductivity. Electrical conductivity. So tell me, conductor or insulator?
Conductor.
Conductor. NaCl, in NaCl you will conduct electricity. How will you conduct electricity?
No, it is an insulator.
Insulator in solid state.
Yes, sir.
But if you melt it, it will become conductor. Okay. Conductor.
Yes, sir.
Conductor in aqueous. That means if you mix it in water, it will become a conductor. Aqueous. And in melt. Okay, what are some other properties of this? Okay, these are not shiny, na, these are brittle. Right? Are these shiny?
No, sir.
No. These are brittle and hard in nature. These are brittle and hard in nature. Okay. The other thing is that, these may have high boiling points and melting points. Okay. Copy this, you can copy this now.
Sir, this is conductor in aqueous and in melt.
Yes, when you melt it, it will become conductor.
Okay, sir.
You will learn about this in your electrochemistry chapter. That is your third chapter, no? Yeah, third chapter. Electrochemistry.
Sir, the grammar over there, like conductor in aqueous and in melt. What is melt?
Melt, when you melt it, na, liquid, that means liquid state.
We can write in liquid state. Aqueous.
Yeah, you can write liquid state, but you will, you can write in liquid state, no problem. But make sure that you don't mix it with aqueous state and liquid state. You don't think them as same thing. Okay, you can write it in liquid state. Most people have this association of this word, which is liquid, to water. That is why I asked them to write. I guess you will be needing one more class of solid state, because that tiling
That's
part is
it?
not done now. Tiling,
Yes, sir.
tiling part is not done. You're waiting for Fatima, Mariam, and Sania. Mariam is done, Fatima is done, waiting for Sania. Sania is also done. I was waiting for them and they were waiting for me to call out their names. Next is metallic solid. Okay. What should I write here? The first point. Array, what should be the first point? Fast, somebody please.
A constituent particle.
Yes, thank you, Abir. Constituent
Particle.
particles.
That is metal.
And the constituent particles would be
Metal.
metal. Okay, metal. Now you should also write one more thing, that is, definition of metals. Metals are what? Metals are these are orderly collection, right? These are orderly collection of positive ions. These are orderly collection of positive ions surrounded by. Now these things are surrounded by what? Surrounded by and also held together, and surrounded by and also held together by sea of free electrons. By sea of free electrons. Okay, and the forces of attraction here is, okay, what will be the intermolecular force of attraction? Yes, what will be the intermolecular forces of attraction here? Array. Metals have, now these are metallic bonds, na?
Yes, I thought of it,
Metallic
but
bonds.
I was like, that won't make
Metals
any
have
sense.
metallic bonds. Okay. Now you will write the further properties, like these are conductor, these are lustrous, these are hard, these are malleable, ductile, right? These are the properties of metallic solids. Okay, these are property of metallic solids. Okay, now you can write this down.
So what does lustrous mean?
They have shine. They shine.
And malleable and ductile?
Malleable means that if you beat them into thin sheets, you can beat them into thin sheets. Ductile means that you can make wires out of them.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Alright, do you have any younger sibling?
Me?
Abir? Yeah,
Yes,
you?
sir. Yes, sir.
In which class?
Class 10 and class 5.
Class 10. Ask the class 10 one. He will give you answer for this. Malleable and ductile. Don't you guys teach your younger siblings?
Yes, sir. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It will depend on how they treat us.
Okay, you also have some younger siblings. I mean, in which class they are?
My one is in 10th right now, and
Okay, only one sibling, that is in 10th. I don't think
and
Mariam
other
teaches
is
her.
in
Brother.
university.
Mariam, do
I
you
teach.
teach your brother?
Yeah,
You teach? Okay.
I'm studying
What about
commerce.
you? Yes, you were saying something for Mariam?
Yeah, because of him, I'm having to study commerce.
You study commerce and then teach him?
I just read his textbook and explain what is written.
Okay.
Like, it's so easy.
Yeah, commerce is it is easy.
They
It is
have
intuitive, I can say. It is intuitive.
yeah.
I had economics in my 12th standard. Just
So
as
we
you guys have computer science and all, no? I had economics.
So we did not have that option to choose some other subject.
Yeah, most of the schools they don't give us. I mean, the science stream peoples to choose economics, but it was there in Jamia. So I chose economics. The other option was computer science. So I thought was I can study computer science at any time, but I don't have any will of studying economics. So I should force myself to study economics in class 11th and 12th. And now I can, I mean, I know the languages also for computer science. So it was a very good idea. Force myself.
So,
Okay, now what
so what
about,
did you
yeah.
learn in economics?
In 11th standard, we had most Indian economics portion. I mean, the reforms and of reform of 1991 was there. The liberalization was there, but in 12th came the more what I can say some more good parts: demand, supply. Then there are markets. There's oligarchy and monopoly. The different types of markets. What are different types of markets? So we studied those things. But most
Sir,
of the microeconomics part is good. Demand supply part, and microeconomics part is good. Yes, Ahmed.
does that mean if I just study 12th portion, then I will have a lot information about economics? Yeah. Like I don't want to dig into that history, but I want to learn about that demand and all. Like it will help
If you
in
want
stock market or anything.
demand, no, stock markets is investing. It is different ball game.
Yeah, we can invest on something which is on demand, right?
But if you invest something which is on demand and it goes, for example, you will, if you're investing, you will invest at least for 10 to 20 years. Now
Not
that is
really.
called investing. And if you're trying, if you're thinking of buying some stocks and selling it on the other day, that is called trading. So first of all, think that whether you are going to go to
I
towards
will be
investing or
trading.
trading.
I will be
So
trading.
trading is a tricky business. You will trading. It takes time. Trading takes time. Okay. What about Amalia? Do you teach your younger siblings?
I am the younger sibling.
Okay. Now somebody have to repeat this for me because I was not able to
So
hear.
she don't have any younger sibling, like she's the youngest.
Aja, Aja, she is the youngest sibling. Okay. So do your elder sibling teach you?
Yes, sir.
Acha, they teach you. Fatima will be having a very great time. She must be teaching her cousins also because she is back in India now. Yes, Fatima? Okay, I guess Fatima said something, but I was not able to hear it.
So maybe
Also,
she's teaching them now also.
Acha,
No,
now also she's
no,
teaching. She will tell
I'm
you.
started.
So she said she's the youngest.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Also raise your hand if you are. Sania, you are also the youngest.
No, sir.
Okay. So you have siblings in which standard?
Fifth.
Okay, sure. Okay, fifth standard. So you can teach them easily. Okay. So metallic solids are done. Metallic solid is done. Now comes the fourth one, that is covalent solids. And these covalent solids are also known as network solids. Solids or network solids. Okay. Covalent solids are network solids. Now the thing important about these network solid is that the intermolecular force of attraction is obviously covalent bond. Now most people they confuse, they get a doubt here. If I say HCl, okay, and for example I say graphite, what is the intermolecular force of attraction in HCl? Let us have one by one. Okay,
Polar.
yes, let us start with Sania. What do you think is the intermolecular force of attraction in HCl? Okay, I guess Sanya is not. Okay, Mariam,
Yes, sir.
what is the intermolecular force of attraction in HCl?
Hydrogen bonding.
Hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding only happens with OH. Remember this
Oh,
FON.
ionic.
Ionic.
Yeah.
H plus and
Because
Cl negative. It exists if I have written H like this. HCl I have written it like this now. Okay.
yes.
What type of bond is present in HCl? What type of bond is present in HCl?
Like, what do you mean? I didn't get.
Polar.
The bond is
Yeah, polar,
is
dipole.
yeah, dipole is the intermolecular force of attraction. But this bond is what? This bond is
Covalent bond.
covalent bond. Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if this is covalent bond, will this be a covalent solid?
Yes, it can be.
No. See, here is the difference. The difference is this covalent bond is between the atoms of
Yes,
a
sir,
molecule.
yes, sir.
Atoms of a molecule. But the intermolecular forces of attraction are the attraction between two different molecules. So this attraction here, this will be what? This is dipole-dipole. And that is why this one molecule is attracted to another molecule. That is why it is in molecular solid, and in molecular solid, it is in polar molecular solid. Okay, it is not covalent solid. It is not covalent solid.
Yes.
So you don't have to see what type of bond is present between the atoms. You have to see what type of attraction is present between the molecule, between the constituent particle. That is HCl. It is HCl are making the solid. Okay. So this is one point of difference you have to understand between covalent as a bond and covalent as we see. For example, now in graphite. Let us see in graphite what is the scene. So does anyone know here structure
Yes,
of
sir.
graphite? Yeah, tell me what is the structure of graphite?
Not really, but it is connected with carbon.
Okay, so graphite has this hexagon type of shape.
Yeah.
This carbon will be again held by carbon here. This will be having one carbon here. This will be having one carbon here. This will be having carbon here. Okay, so this type of, now the same thing will be present below. Okay, the same type of bonds will be present below. Carbon, 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 again carbon here, again carbon here. Now this is top layer A, this is the second layer B. Now between A and B, can you see these bonds? Okay, and let me make this with other color. Right, so these are also what? These are also again, these are also
Covalent
covalent bonds, right? These
Yes.
are also covalent bond, and these are the bonds which make a particular network solid. Okay, and this is the example for graphite. This is the example for graphite. Now, if you see diamond, see graphite has how many covalent bonds between atoms? It is 1, 2, 3. Now, each, see this carbon is having one carbon, two carbons. See this, three carbons are attached to one carbon and one carbon is in below. So in one plane it is attached to only three pure covalent bond, and the next one is the force of attraction between two molecules. Okay, now when we have a diamond, for example, so diamond is connected via four atoms.
Yes, sir. 4 carbon.
It is connected to four atoms. Okay, diamond is connected to four atoms. Graphite is connected to only three atoms.
Three.
So these are the differences in graphite and
Carbon.
diamond. But as you can see that they are making a network, and this network is made up of what? This network is made up of covalent bonds. This network is made up of covalent bonds. That is why the intermolecular force of attraction here is what? These are
Covalent.
covalent. The next property is that, okay, now will they be insulator or conductor?
Insulator.
Insulator or conductor? Insulator.
Yes.
Okay, so electrical conductor, insulator, except graphite. Okay, so graphite is a conductor, and the others are insulators. Now again, these all will be hard. For example, you have wood. Wood is also a covalent solid. Wood is a solid and it is hard. Diamond is, it is also hard, but except Again, graphite. Graphite is soft, except graphite. Okay. Now, yeah, what are the constituent particles? I didn't write constituent particle. Constituent particles. Constant particles here are atoms. Okay, these are atoms. There is no one particular entity which we can say that it is a molecule here. Each individual atom are the constituent particles. Yeah. So this is it. This will also have high melting points. Okay, it will also have high melting point. Yeah. If you want to write examples, what will be the example? Example will be carbon, diamond, graphite.
So why not carbon graphite?
Why not?
Carbon graphite, like you said, carbon diamond, right? Can there be any other diamond?
No, there is no other diamond, but yeah, you can write diamond directly also. But I've written carbon in the sense that carbon. If I say carbon, it can be diamond also. It can be graphite also, na? Okay, carbon diamond or carbon graphite. Then again SiO2. What is SiO2? What is the name for SiO2?
Silicon.
One first class. I mean this. Yeah, covalent solid is done. Write this down.
Si means silicon, right?
Si is silicon. Yeah. SiO2 is quartz.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, 4 have raised hand. Okay, Ahmed, Mariam, Amalya, and Abir are done, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, so waiting only for Fatima now.
So any homework besides does water conduct electricity?
Speak loudly, speak loudly.
So any homework besides does water conduct electricity?
Besides solid, no, I don't think any homework as of now.
Yes, sir.
But there is one question that I want to write now, okay?
Okay, sir.
Just let me know if everyone is done. Fatima is not done. Fatima, are you done? Yeah, Fatima is done now. So, I don't know. I think this question is an NCERT, and they say that when you look at the window panes of old building, window panes, rather I should write glass window panes, glass window panes of old historic buildings are thicker at bottom. Why? So the answer here is, see, since glass is what? Since glass is an amorphous solid,
So it got melted and drifted down.
no, it does not melt. It is an amorphous solid.
Like it
It
started
has
flowing.
The property
to flow.
to flow. It has a property to flow even though very, very slowly. So over time, glass flows to the bottom. Glass flows to the bottom and make it thicker. Okay, and make it thicker. Write this one.
Sir, this is glass window panes.
Yeah, this is glass window pane. Pane is a word, na? Pane we say na, glass window pane.
Yes, sir. Done. Yes, sir. Done.
Yeah, window panes are word, window pane. Okay. Window pane is one word. Window pane is one word, okay? This is one word. Ahmed, what are you doing in Python?
Nothing, sir. Just wandering around.
Sorry?
Just wandering around here and there to learn Python.
No, but if there should be a topic, na?
No topics are like they are actually doing this like programming in this thing Anaconda on Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so it is like I'm neither here nor there, but they be like they all work same, like whatever program you do over there, you can do the same on Python and it will give the same result.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, Anaconda is nothing but, I mean, you can just, it is a, what I can say, it has some modules already installed. Na? It has NumPy, Pandas, etc. These are already installed, and it is mostly used for machine learning.
Yes, sir.
So is this your, I mean, whatever course you are taking, is it for, I mean,
Yeah, it
machine
is for
learning based, or
data science.
this? Okay, so Python for data science you are learning,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, sir.
So have you come across this Titanic problem as of now?
No. And they just started 2 class, that also they did not, and they just took 2 class last Sunday or something. We had class, but they were like, it is friendship day, so we are giving off.
What?
So I have,
Off on friendship day, very good.
yeah.
That is great.
So I have a class today at 4:30 or 6:30 of India, so it is 4.
Sane is also having Python, na?
Yes, sir, she has.
Sanya, are you studying somewhere or by your own? Okay, Sanya is not answering. Okay, fine. If you have done, please raise your hand. I can see only Ahmed and Amalia raised hand. Abir, Fatima, Mariam. Sanya, I don't. Is she there or is she not here? Okay, so in the next class now, I'm just giving you a glimpse of next class. In next class, we will start with tiling problems. Okay, tiling in the sense when we have a floor and we want to give, I mean, put tiles on it. So we can either put square tiles, and you can completely fill the tiles with squares. There will be no vacant gaps there. You can also have rectangles, and it can be made tile, and without cutting the rectangles, you can create a particular floor with one type of rectangles only. Then For example,
Yeah.
triangle. You can also use triangle. Correct?
So why not pentagon? Like you said, we don't use.
Yeah, I said na
pentagon.
pentagon. Why not pentagon? So see, you made one
What is the
pentagon
angle
here.
between them?
Okay.
So it is not necessary that we use that in same order. We can just join it, right?
There will be always this vacant line. Okay, so your homework is Ahmed. Your homework is to make pentagon tilings without any vacant spaces. See, can you see this vacant spaces? This vacant space will always arise.
Yes.
Okay, this vacant space will always arise. So your homework is that you orient the
Make-
pentagon in such a way that there is no vacant space.
Which is not possible, I guess.
Orient the pentagon without any vacant spaces. Okay, see, the only thing which why we are doing these type of problem is that the tiling problem, because if we have, for example, square here, then in 3D this will translate to what? This will translate to cube. If we have a rectangle, it will translate to what? It will translate to
Void.
cuboid. Okay, this will be prismatic type of structure. So
Yes.
we will first start with 2D structures, then we will see what. Now if this is cube and this is what? This is a unit cell.
Where?
So one unit cell can be of cube, one unit cell can be of cuboid. So what type of different unit cell or